NBA All-Star Weekend just concluded, and I honestly I didn't watch the game. I don't know about you guys, but I felt like everything that was on social media, I didn't see one positive thing about the actual game last night.
I just knew. I mean, it's fallen so far off a cliff, and I think part of it is there's just no incentive there. Whereas since it's in the middle of the season for these NBA players, I mean, you can see the effort's just not there whatsoever. I mean, there's no defense being played. Well, the final score is what, 211 to 180 something.
Yeah.
Like,
there was 397 points.
A lot of defense played. That's for sure.
Well, it's even funnier because before the game, they were interviewing Larry Bird, I think, and they were like, "Are you excited for the game?" And he literally said, like, "I just hope that these guys actually like compete and like play good like basketball." And then what followed was not good.
They just didn't at all.
We have Luka Doncic saying that he's going for a 2-for-1, and he just gets the ball with 30 seconds left and just full court heaves it at the rim. And then he was like, I was looking for a 2-for-1 opportunity, make the full court shot and then play defense and get back. I was like, no one was playing defense.
No one.
Well, so this leads kind of the question, right? So because those tickets aren't cheap to go to the game, right? So you're going to All-Star Game weekend, and even the NBA dunk contest and all that doesn't have the same feel since, I mean, Aaron Gordon, Zach Levine was the last one that I saw that was like, this is legit. The Steph Curry shooting contest with
Sabrina Ionescu.
That was electric.
That was
cool. That was probably the best part of the whole weekend.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
No, that by far was the best part of the weekend.
Yeah.
Sabrina can shoot.
That
was
She
awesome.
was shooting from the men's line. She could
Hit 26, and I believe if she was in the actual 3-point contest, she would have advanced to the finals with that score.
Yeah, she finished at 26.
Yeah.
And what did Curry have? 28 or 29?
Yeah, no, Curry beat it on the
30?
final.
He had 30.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but his final rack was they have one rack full of money balls where everything is like worth 2, and I think he hit all 5 of that like on his final go. So he had to be almost perfect to beat her on the final round.
So like that part was great, but the actual game, then back to it, like all of social media, Rock. I mean, I felt like everybody, I think like Scott Van Pelt had a did you have that? Do you have that tweet, or you remember what he said?
He said like if you don't care, something along the lines of, I don't want to misquote him, but if you don't care, then neither will we. Yeah. Basically, we the fans, like, and I hate to sound like an old man like yelling at the clouds, but we don't really care. No. Seriously, we don't care anymore about I can't speak for everyone, but the NBA All-Star game, the All-Star festivities. It's like a pastime. The 3-point competition is awesome. I think it always has been because you have guys trying. But like when Scotty Barnes is chucking up half-court shots, not looking, when you have Anthony Edwards shooting with his left hand. Yeah. And I know a lot of players view this as a break, but there has to be some sort of incentive, or don't make it an incentive. It has to be back on the players to want to bring this All-Star game back to where it should be. Like the dunk contest had fallen off years, but like Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine got in there and they brought it back, and that was electric. And that was, I think, like 2015, 2016. It was one of the best NBA dunk contests in the history of the competition. Like it had the flair, it had the names, it was awesome. But like half the guys that are participating now, I feel like the casual basketball fan might not even know who they are.
They literally just bring up Matt every year to do the dunk contest and then send him back down, which is awesome.
Well, and he can jam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's really, so I was just going to say, so a healthy amount of votes have come in. 85% are saying that Major League Baseball has the best All-Star experience in all of sports. NFL got 1 whole vote, NBA got 10%, and the NHL got 0%, which I don't think is fair. I think the NHL actually,
I disagree with that. Yeah.
I think the NHL actually has a good All-Star experience. If you guys aren't in the hockey, I get that, but the experience itself is actually pretty good. But what I will say is, and I understand like wanting to protect your body and all that good stuff, but Larry Bird, when he was talked about how he, it was about the fan experience. And we talked about this before we came on about how expensive it is to actually go to one of these NBA All-Star games. And I don't know what the pricing is for NFL, but like you spend all this money to go and see the players put actual effort into it, and then they don't. And it's just like, what did I even pay for? And so I don't know what they have to do. And Nick, you're obviously in the NFL, kind of like how that's kind of evolved, and it's not really anywhere near what it used to be. Now, I'm not saying that you got to go there and level a guy, but I mean, at least make it competitive to where it's fun. You got the best players in the world going against each other, and you want to see a good game. It's just not fun to watch.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Nick, here in a second. But Rocco, you had a
I actually wanted to ask Nick something as well. You're a popular guy today, it seems like. But no, I wanted to
Everyone says
so
that.
Kobe dropped the line. This was, I mean, years ago. He said, and I forget which year it was, but he's like, it's recirculating this year especially. It was like, guys try harder in pickup games at UCLA than they do in the All-Star game. If you're afraid of getting hurt, I'm not a professional athlete, obviously. Like, look at me, I'm not. But
no,
I feel like these things can happen anywhere. Like, injuries can happen. I get like, okay, you don't want to do it in a meaningless game. But Nick, am I wrong in saying like, in kind of saying this is like, you can get hurt anywhere. It happens. It's like injuries happen. But like playing in the All-Star game, you're playing basketball. You're playing what you do. You're playing what you love. So like, I get like taking it easy a little bit, but not as easy as these guys are.
It's a little bit tougher, with basketball and baseball, just because you have it in the middle of the season. And in the NFL, obviously the Pro Bowl is at the end of the year. They've totally restructured how that is handled with the flag football and all the skills competitions and stuff like that. I think they realized that the game itself was kind of blah. Like, guys were really, in football is, you can get seriously injured, but I feel like a lot of times injuries happen when guys are like holding back because they're not as focused. Maybe they're not as locked in. I mean, as an athlete, I understand, why you don't want to go that hard in the middle of the season. And there's definitely probably some pay incentive where you have to participate in the game in order to get paid. And I know that's how it works for us. You have to participate in order to get the bonus for making it to the Pro Bowl. So, if you want the money, then you're kind of forcing your hand. But you would love to see them try harder. But as a player, it's like you almost want them to just like have a rock, paper, scissors contest or something, so that just do something that's not maybe like less impactful that guys will actually try hard at and like put some effort into it. Because like, when you score 300 and nearly 400 points in basketball in one game, that's just kind of garbage in my opinion.
But it wasn't always like this.
Yeah,
though.
well,
like
but
the mentality is way different. I mean,
I was gonna say this with the NBA All-Star game was when they did like the got to a certain point and it'd be like the first team to whatever number.
Elam ending.
Yeah. So there was a moment there where you went, okay, maybe the NBA All-Star game, they figured it out, right? And then it kind of went back to whatever it was last night. And here's the other part. Let's just be honest. If you're a fan of the teams, if Damian Lillard was the MVP last night, right? He won the MVP award.
Yeah.
If Damian Lillard gets hurt in this game and he's not on the Bucks fans are going to be so much more pissed that they don't have Damian Lillard than if he was playing in the All-Star game, right? So like that's the touch and go. But to your guys' point, what do you exactly do? The NFL just said, hey, we're done. Like, because that sport is way too physical to do that out on a consistent basis. But you're right. It just felt like the players' effort levels had dropped. In baseball, you got to go out and play.
Yeah. Has there ever been,
go ahead.
Sorry. Has there ever been a season-ending injury from someone playing in the NBA All-Star game?
I don't think. I know that D-Wade broke Kobe's nose in the All-Star game, but that wasn't a season-ending injury. He just wore a mask. I don't think there has been. I mean, not to my knowledge, at least.
Yeah, so let the fact check that.
Yeah.
I guess that's my point, is just like I don't know. It just seems as if kind of what Nick was saying, if you pull back a little bit, it actually brings on higher risk for injury rather than just playing it. I mean, you had the bigger players back in the day, and like, I don't want to sound like, get off my lawn type of dude, but it's just like,
well, Rocco already has.
I already did that for you, Brad. Yeah.
The 90s,
different age.
I grew up watching the NBA in the 90s, and it was just such a different game for a lot of different reasons. But like, I just feel as if the game was more popular, at least in the United States, and everybody was like, couldn't wait to not just watch Jordan, but like everybody else, Patrick Ewing, Sean Bradley, George Marathon, all these other guys. It was just, I don't know, way different than it is now. I don't know if anybody's looking forward to watching one particular guy play other than maybe LeBron.
Yeah. It would even be better if like 8 of the guys on the court got out of the way and he just did a one-on-one thing. Just one possession of LeBron and whoever, and Giannis going one-on-one. Then another guy takes like Embiid and Jokic do it for one possession, and it's one possession of that. I think even that'd be better than what we saw.
without
Dude, I
doubt.
saw Twitter went off. It was like there was somebody that suggested doing that. There was someone that suggested doing, and players would not agree with this at all, but having the in-season tournament final instead of the All-Star game. But
Yes.
players view it as the
I would
All-Star
almost-
break, and I
would-
don't think
would-
they'd agree to
Yeah,
that.
I
I mean,
think that would be way
even
better.
just
It
make
would be,
the incentive thing is what I mean at this point is, do you make it for home court in the finals? I think that's the thing that
Yeah.
I've seen circulating the most of, like,
That's baseball, right?
No
It used to
longer.
be.
it
It's
used-
not like
used
that
to be.
anymore.
No, I
What
will
is it
say
now?
my favorite Twitter one is like obviously what happened, but is the losing team. The players have to like anonymously vote on one player on their team, and they can never make another All-Star game again.
Well, they do. I know the NFL does. It does a pay incentive. So like the team that
Yeah,
actually
right.
wins gets double what the other team, the losing team, gets, similar to what they do in the Super Bowl. So there is a little bit of that. Now the NFL got away from the game, and they moved into a more fan-centric environment where it's a longer experience. It's now basically from Tuesday to Sunday, and the fans have access to the players more often, and guys are more willing to do it because, especially like this year, team losing the AFC Championship, when you have to go play another football game the very next week, a lot of guys aren't doing that.
Mhm.
Like a lot of these dudes, especially the guys that go, they're making all that money. They're like, dude, what's another 40 grand? Like, I'm not going to go and do that. But now it's not very physical. So, like linemen, they don't really do anything in the flag football game.
right.
So they do a couple skills challenges, and then you take your family to Disney World and they rent out Disney World and stuff like that. So more guys are willing to go there and be around the fans, and the fans get a better experience, and they're able to interact with the players more, I think, than maybe if they had the game.
Well, and it kind of reminded me, they had a snap challenge. Like,
They
I
did.
want to see a Nick Moore snap off.
Bring it up.
In the
I would have
Pro
won
Bowl.
that too, Ross.
get Nick Moore to the Pro Bowl.
This is
Get
what I'm
him
saying.
there.
We're
Get
gonna
him there.
Dude,
Next year we're
it's
starting it.
because it's a snap, not a hike, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a
But
difference.
it was sinners and long snapper, and Ross let me down. Jacksonville AFC long snapper did not do so hot. I heard. I didn't watch the event, but I don't think we won that. I think the NFC won that championship, but I would have dominated.